In order for one to examine how recreation and hobbies in Shijo have changed over time, one must consider the games and sports, the gender wall, and the personal free time of the Shijo people. I sorted my data into 4 groups based on age: childhood, 0 to 20 years old; early adulthood, 20 to 40 years old; middle-aged, 40 to 60 years old; and older residents, 60 plus years old. Children in Shijo have a variety of different games and sports that are commonly played. Younger kids spend a lot of their time with their families, and they play in Sifang-jie and other places with big common areas. They play with a bouncy ball and games that they make themselves, with their own moves. Older kids usually play sports or video games. Most kids only play tennis or basketball, and they are the most popular sports in Shijo for teenagers. There are a number of internet bars around Sifang-jie where teenagers play video games, like League of Legends and Counter-Strike. Young adults do not play many sports, but some men play basketball on the local streetball courts. Young adults usually do not play other sports, especially the women. Typically, young adults own a smartphone in which they keep a few games that they play in their free time. They also like to spend their time playing cards. Also, young adults like to race using motorcycles every once in a while. Middle-aged adults spend a lot of their time playing mahjong with their friends. Some people even play for several hours a day. Most shopkeepers are middle-aged and they spend their time playing mahjong. Some people also gamble by playing card games. Older residents do not play any sports, but they do play games. Older residents enjoy playing mahjong and cards for games, and not much else. Games and sports are not a big part of recreation for older residents. I believe that some readers might need me to explain what the gender wall is. By gender wall, I mean how much time people of opposite genders spend time doing recreational activities together. Children who are under 10 years old do not spend much time with anybody of the opposite gender. This is normal for most cultures, and it does not change until people reach their teen years. Teenagers typically spend their time in their own social groups that include a number of people from both genders. Young adults of different genders spend a lot of time together too, but not as much as teenagers because they have their own personal lives that they need to attend to. However, spending time with other genders seems to come naturally for them. Most young adults spend about half of their free time with adults of the other gender doing recreational activity. However, most of those come during their own personal free time and not games and sports. Middle-aged adults do not really spend time together with the other genders. Their social groups do not usually include people of both genders. Most men only play mahjong with men, and women only play mahjong with women. Older residents in Shijo generally spend more time with people of other genders. They seem more comfortable with each other because most of the oldest residents grew up together and are very familiar with each other. It seems to be natural that people of other genders spend time with each other, and most older residents know one another well. By personal free time, I mean the time where people can choose to do anything they want with the time that they have. Children usually have the least free time because they spend most of their time studying or doing homework for school. When they do have free time, it is usually on a weekend. Children have more access to technology than most people in Shijo. They spend their personal free time with technology watching TV or playing video games. Outside of technology, most people spend their time socializing with their friends. Often, girls go shopping in Sifang-jie or the market. Guys usually sit around in common areas and talk with their friends, and sometimes they play with BB guns. Some kids also like to make art or play an instrument, but this is not very common. Kids do not have much free time during the weekdays, but during their breaks in school, they go out to talk with their friends. An interesting fact is that a lot of kids start smoking at a young age and continue to smoke throughout their childhood during their free time. Young adults typically have more free time on the weekends. They spend their personal free time going out with their friends. A lot of young adults in Shijo head to places like Dali Old Town when they have a lot of free time. Young adults socialize a lot and they have their own social groups. They do not use that much technology except for their phones. Middle-aged adults have a lot of free time. Most of them are farmers or shop owners. When they do not have much work to do, they hang out with their friends. They usually chat and smoke. Only men smoke, and most of them are heavy smokers. Women spend their time gossiping or shopping with their social groups. Young adults...
Can you give that to me later?
I will. Mrs. Thomas. Middle-aged adults like to watch TV in their free time or just sit and relax. Also, many people of this age enjoy making and listening to bi-minority music. The women like to dance at night for exercise and fun, to traditional or modern Chinese music. Older residents have the most personal free time out of all 4 age groups. A lot of their personal free time is spent socializing. A lot of women tie-dye or knit during their free time. They sit in groups and talk while working. Men usually smoke while they socialize, and they sit down in a common area and just chat for a long time. Most older residents are retired. At this age, most people spend all their personal free time with their friends and family. Recreation and hobbies in Qizhou have changed. Newer generations are becoming more and more acclimated to technology. People are more concerned with their studies and have less and less free time. Younger generations also are becoming more and more Western, and their recreation and hobbies follow so. Newer generations are less and less like their parents and grandparents. New generations have new hobbies and recreation. To conclude, recreation and hobbies in Qizhou have changed as new generations come along.